Good evening all. This week we are at Brands Hatch for VicMania Thursday night racing. The rules for tonight's race are a 30-minute practice session, 15 minutes qualifying at 2 times speed, and then a 60-minute race at 4 times speed, starting at 1300 hours. There is only one compulsory pit stop tonight. No compulsory tyre change or refueling, so it's your choice what you do, unlike the previous two races, which were mandatory tyres and fuel at both mandatory pit stops. The top 10 qualifying spots were as pictured here, with Skinny Luke getting his second pole of the season with a 1:24.062 on a green track and cold temperatures. It was a clean start to the race, everyone getting through the first few corners with no bumps or shuffles. Hamilton aggressive early, taking a position from Will Pay at Surtees on the first lap. And immediately trying to follow it up into Hawthorn, trying to overtake Jared in, didn't quite stick it. Battle resulting in the 89 Porsche of Will Pay losing even more positions. A train had started to form behind Cupo in 4th position at the end of the first lap. This resulted in a position change coming into the second lap. Tunks made the move on Eagles around the outside of the main straight leading into turn 1. He would lose the position again in the exact same spot on the following lap, running wide. Trev McMillan would lose out to Fletcher into turn 1, running wide. He would take the position back as Fletcher spun at Surtees on the following lap. The battle between Cow and Vinny was heating up, which was allowing Jared Ing and Phil Hamilton to catch up on their tail. Hamilton made a dive onto Jared Ing into turn 1 on the following lap, pulling up the car just to avoid hitting Vinny. It would all fall apart as Cow spun at Sheen on the same lap, and Hamilton collected him in the process, and then also Jared Ing. Cow would be out of the race at this point. Hamilton would pit immediately with significant front end damage. Skinny Luke would spin while in the lead. Cupo found the grass going into hill and collected a bit of damage from contact with Eagles at the same time. The battle for the lead between Skinny Luke and Joslin was given some extra spice as the rain hit, and Joslin struggling a little bit through the back end of the circuit. Everyone struggling on dry tyres in the greasy conditions, Skinny Luke losing the lead as he slid wide. An unforced error from Reynolds dropped into 4th, handing Tunks the 3rd position. With the track drying, it quickly became a three-way battle for the lead, with the trio fast approaching the back markers of Hamilton and Norman. Hamilton decided that he needed to take the position prior to the leaders lapping them. While letting the leaders by, Hamilton made an error, sending him far off into the grass at hill. A poor exit out of hill for Jozen would allow Skinny Luke to get the jump on him and retake the lead at Surtees. The battle will continue and the trio would go three wide across the start-finish line of the next lap. The live timer indicated that Skinny Luke and Tunks were dead even as they crossed the start-finish line. Skinny Luke spun going into Sterling's, which induced a little bit of contact and a wall hit. Vinny lost control of his Nissan on the exit of Surtees, and combined with a 30-second stop-go for speeding in the pit lane, he retired from the race. It was still on for young and old at the front of the pack as the rain once came again. Tunks and Reynolds pitted together, leaving Jozen out on the track by himself. In the pits, Tunks would choose to take the wet tyres, Reynolds staying on the dries. The wet tyre call was the right one for Tunks as he quickly reeled in Wells. And Reynolds as well. It wasn't long before Tunks was right on the back of Jozen, wets versus dries. Tunks made short work of Jozen. It seemed to be a race of manufacturer fratricide, as Aston versus Aston, Ferrari versus Ferrari, Cupo taking a few corners to get past McMillan. That was the last battle of the race, with Tunks taking his first outright win since round 1 of season 13 at Silverstone, an excellent choice of tyre in tricky conditions. So that's an excellent win by Tunks and the end of the race. Tunks, Jozen and Reynolds taking the top 3 in Pro. And in AM class, you had Jared Ing again, then Kyle Douglas and Brian Fletcher. And after 3 rounds, if we take a look at our championship standings, Skinny Luke's holds the tiniest leads above Tunks and Jozen, 99, 97, 96 points respectively. Then looking at the manufacturers and teams, Ferrari holds the lead in the points per entrant, and the outright team right now is Pro M4, aka Tunks and Douglas. Thank you for joining us again. We'll see you next week at Valencia.